Hello guys and welcome back to AWS Solution Architect Associate class, and in this video we are going to learn how to create your first EC2 instance in AWS. We have covered I think each and every one. Let's say the volumes we have already covered, the key pair, the placement groups, security groups, what they are, elastic IPs, and we are going to cover the elastic IP and load balancer into our next upcoming videos. So just stay tuned, and in this video you will learn how to create or launch your and configure your first virtual machine or EC2 instance into your AWS cloud. And then you are going to also let practice some AMI or the Amazon machine image to launch your EC2 instance, and then key pairs, these key pairs and SSH to authenticate or to log in into your EC2 instance with SSH. Okay, so let's start now. And to go to launch your EC2 instance, to go to e-services, to go to compute. Under compute, you can find the EC2 instance. Then hit EC2, and it will open a EC2 management console. And if you are just accessing this first time, you will see this type of management console. And just scroll a little bit, scroll down, you can see your launch instance here. Just hit them and then hit launch instance here. So here you can see we have three types of AMI. First is My AMI, and second one we haven't created yet any AMI, so you cannot see any AMI by default. You have to create, then you have to publish them, then only you can see your AMI here. Then you have the AWS marketplace, you can see it here. You can purchase them from the marketplace. You have the community AMI as well here. Okay, and as we discussed earlier, there are two types of the storage to launch your EC2 instance, and by default it's going to be select your EBS, but you have the instance store also. You just need to scroll down a little bit, and under root device type you can just expand it, and you can find whether uh, what type of EBS you require. If you just hit EBS, then you can see the root device is EBS here. And if you just uncheck it here, and I'm just going to check instance store, then you can say the root device would be instance store only. So if you remember the EBS and instance store, the major difference between both EBS and instance store is if your instance is in stop state and you have instance store as a root device, then your data going to be lost. So that's the major difference in EBS and instance store is. So this is basically the temporary storage, and you cannot deattach and attach into your from one instance to the different, but you can do the same with EBS volume instance store. So let's uncheck it, and we are going with here, and that's our my first Amazon Linux. I'm just going to search another one, not this one. Just going to hit on quick start, and it allow you to select couple of uh, Linux based system here. Even you can see the Ubuntu, you can get the Microsoft Server 2019 base version, you can see it here also. And you can see which EC2 instance is eligible as a free. You can see that this is the free tier eligible, free tier. If you are going with this one, then you are going to pay to AWS. They are not the free tier eligible. All right, so let's go to and select this Amazon Linux 2 AMI, and that's our AMI. And I'm just going to select them, and just hit them, and that's our free tier. That's fine. And then you can leave it as default. Here we are not going to be configure the auto scaling group. If you are going to select these two instance, then you need to launch the auto scaling group. We will take a look what's the auto scaling group into our next videos. We are not going to select any roles, any IPR. You can see this is our by default VPC. That's going to be attached by default, and if you have another VPC then you can attach them here. That's our default, no preference. So in any availability zone it's going to be you are, and it's going to be assigned auto public IP address also. If you can just select it disable, then your instance not it won't attach any public IP address by default. So I'm just going to keep it default for simplicity in these videos. Then hit add storage, that's fine. I'm just going to leave it as default. That's my root volume type is root, and it's not encrypted right now. Earlier it was you cannot encrypt your root device storage, but now you can encrypt also your root device as well. That's going to be as the general purpose SSD, and I'm pretty sure you know now what's the general purpose SSD is. And I have already uploaded the volume type, how many types of volume available in AWS. There are basically the 5 type. You can see here just for the general purpose, this one, and SSD and SSD, but not the HDD. So you can just take a look into that particular video to learn what's the what type of instance storage available in AWS. Or you can find the videos on my YouTube channel, AWS instance store versus the elastic block store volume. All right, so now again you can hit the add tags, and I'm just going to enter the tag here, just the name and I can say my first EC2. That's my first EC2 instance. Then going to hit new configure. Then that's fine. It's going to be launch a new security group. You can put it. You can say, let's say the first security group. That's I'm just entering this name and just enter the description. That's only SSH, and we need only the SSH for this lab only. So I'm and though you can add the HTTP or HTTPS role also. Let me show you how you can add them if you need them. So just select the HTTP roles. It's going to pick up the port range automatically. You do not need to specify what the role is you need. So then are going to select anywhere. Okay, then I'm just also, let's see, add HTTPS here, and I'm just going to add it from anywhere also. All right, now let's after that you can click on review and launch button. That's blue, and then launch them, and it's going to ask you the key pair. I'm just going to create new one here, and that's my first AC2 I can say the key pair, and I'm just going to download them. I'm just downloading it into my one of my online class folder here, and it's saved into my local system. And we are going to use this key pair into when we will use it into our SSH into the putty. Then fine, then just hit launch instance. And after just couple of seconds, you can see your instance is in the running state. But it's first when you just see the view your launch instance, it's into the pending state. It's my old one that's just into the terminated state. I just terminated them before starting this video, and that's one. This is going to be removed after some times. So now our first my first EC2 instance is launched and configured and ready to use. And let's go through a little bit here. You can see the public IP address, that's my instance ID. You can also see the your private IP address. We have the public EC2 instance here, my VPC ID, my subnet, and what the type of instance is, what's the IAM role I have assigned to them. We don't use any IAM role by default. All right, so this is all how you can just uh, launch into uh, your EC2 instance, and let me show you how you can connect your EC2 instance with SSH. Let me first. So first, what you need to do, just go to the putty gen. That's the putty generator, and you need to load the files. I'm going to just upload one file that is my first EC2 pcare. That's okay, and I'm just going to save it as my uh, let me save it the private key first key pair key. Okay, now let's open the file. I mean, sorry, the putty here to connect my EC2 instance. That's my host name. That's going to be your public IP address here. If you can just instance summary, and you can just copy it here. I'm going to copy it here and just enter your host name, just and expand your SSH, go to authentications, browse your first key, which we have just converted into first key pair.into.ppk file from p.pem. And then what you need to do, just click on open, and it's going to be open and connecting with your EC2 instance from here. And the by default, if you are using the Linux, so by default password would be sudo-s. That's should be it should be connected. Oh, sorry, it's saying no supported authentications methods available. Then it's there is some wrong with my key. Okay, let me check it out. Okay, let's see. I think I get the error. That's we are trying to come, the login with the sudo hyphen s users as login as, but that's the default user for the Linux machine EC2 hyphen user always. Just keep in mind you cannot connect directly with your sudo user. You later you can sudo hyphen s. Later you can you can change your login user into the root user, but at first step you cannot do them. And I'm just going to install yum hyphen update, and I'm just going to install httpd yes, I need to install them. Okay, then it's completed, and let's go to systemctl start httpd. Oh, sorry, that's the typo. Sorry, it's not https. That's the httpd. Sorry, always I do have always a typo mistake. And now let's enable your httpd, and I'm just enabling it. That's started. Now it's created, and now I can see the status of my EC2 instance httpd services here. So you can see that it's into the running state. So let's create one little bit small web page here, and I'm just going to it www.html slash sorry, and I'm just change the directory here, and I'm just creating a file nano test.html, and I'm just entering html hi tech hunt this thanks for awesome AWS video course. Okay, and let's enter the close tab of HTML, and I'm just going to control X and Y for to confirm yes, that's my file should be saved into the. Let's restart the services httpd. That's the web server. It's you can restart it here, and let's see. Let's copy this public IP address from here, and then go to httpd.html. Okay, so my web server is working, and you can see the text here. So that's how you can also verify whether your httpd or your server is stored and working on Linux EC2 instance or not. Thank you guys.